All right. So yeah, when it comes to 5 electron pairs, the basic geometry, like when all 5 of them are bond pairs, electron geometry or molecular geometry, you have trigonal bipyramidal. Because equator mein you have a triangle, and then upar or niche you have two pyramids being formed. Now, what can you say about the bond lengths? Will all the 5 bond lengths be equal to each other?
The axial ones should be greater than the one in the plane, right?
Okay.
Because
And why?
of repulsion, bond pair repulsion.
Absolutely. But bond pair repulsion, though, it should be there between the like the equatorial bonds themselves also. But why the special repulsion towards axial?
Because they're perpendicular to the thing, right? They're perpendicular to all the bonds.
Yes.
Maybe. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
correct. So what is happening is, between two equatorial bonds, there is 120 degrees of angle, but between an equatorial and an axial bond, there's 90 degrees. So यहाँ पे bond angle कम है ना. So compared to the repulsion between equatorial, you would have slightly more repulsion between equatorial and axial. And to basically make up for that repulsion, or due to that repulsion, थोड़ा ज़्यादा repulsion है, इसलिए this gets elongated a little bit. थोड़ा distance से you're gonna make up for this difference in angle with the distance between the atoms. So distance ज़्यादा कर रहे हो मतलब ये bond length थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा. ठीक. So when you have this particular molecule PCl5, all the bond lengths of between P and Cl are not equal. The actual PCl bond length is slightly greater than the equatorial PCl ka bond length. And the reason for that is actual the axial bonds are at 90 degrees with the equatorial bonds. Now, because the bond angle is slightly less, there'll be more repulsion between this than the equatorial bond, like if the bond length was equal. So that is why this gets pushed a tiny bit so that, all are happy and all they have their own space. Yeah. Now, yeah, again, when it comes to 4 bond pairs, 1 lone pair, the lone pair occupies the equatorial spot. So this basically, it looks like a seesaw. So you have the ground here, and the two axial, this thing basically forms like where you sit on the seesaw. That's why the molecular geometry is called seesaw. Then next 4 bond pair ho gaya, 3 bond pair plus 2 lone pair. So if you want to introduce one more lone pair, you can introduce at any space, and basically you will get a so basically again another equatorial position pe jo hai, that gets replaced with like the lone pair occupies another equatorial position, and you end up with a T-shaped molecule. So these are the two axial molecules, and this is like one of the equatorial ones, and the lone pairs are like basically over here on the other ends of the equator.
I have a question. If there are two lone pairs, why aren't like the axial molecules a little more bent in compare? I mean, shouldn't they be bent?
No, they are in different planes, right? So that takes care of the. So yeah, so the lone. So they. Oh, let me switch on video.
So the only two molecules in the same plane are chlorine and fluorine, like the T thing, the one going down below.
Yeah.
And
No, like all of them are in the same plane. So basically, what happens is, if you am replacing this, you look at this particular plane. ऐसा हो गया वो वाला plane basically. So these are all in the same plane. ऐसा हो गया. So instead of the plane being flat, now you just like, you know, you're looking at a different plane where all of them are in the same plane, in a T shape. So you have the actual axial bonds here, and one lone pair can be over here or over here or over here, anywhere. So if I just rotate this, it's a T shape, right? ऐसा हो गया. If it happened to be the one over here, then I just rotate this plane ऐसे. Okay. You guys able to see the video
Okay, ma'am.
clearly?
I think it's hanged or it paused. I don't know. Because I cannot see.
For
Acha.
me, the video is clear.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I mean, it's clear. Okay.
Okay. So axial है इधर, and if one of the lone pairs, it can be either over here or here or here, anywhere, like equator pe, right? Depending on the other lone pairs. So if it happened to be over here, I just rotate it ऐसे. So it, like, you still get a T. It's like that. I've got the 3D simulation also. So once we are done discussing the table, we'll look at each molecule. Like I say, example भी मिल जाएगा वैसे. Right? Huh. And because you have the lone pair repulsion, it won't be exactly 90 degrees. So the angle will be slightly less than 90 degrees. It won't be too much also, like it won't look like an arrow. It still looks kind of like a T. It's just slightly less because of the repulsions between the lone pairs. Okay. And another, okay, 5, 4, 3, 2. Now if you have two lone pairs and two bond pairs and 3 lone pairs, electron geometry is still gonna be trigonal bipyramidal, where you find all of each of the electron pairs. But again, because you have two lone pairs, so ये तीनों equatorial position में जो है, that gets replaced with the lone pairs, and axial positions में you have the bond pairs. So geometry will be linear. Okay. Okay. So this is all of the different permutations and combinations if you have 5 electron pairs. So all 5 bond pairs है तो trigonal bipyramidal. So triangle base बन रहा है, 2 pyramid बन रहे हैं. 4 bond pair, 1 lone pair मतलब. So with each, like every time you're introducing a lone pair or replacing one of the bonds with a lone pair, they get introduced in the equatorial positions. So एक को replace कर रहे हो मतलब you get a seesaw shape. यहाँ पे lone pair है, the third equatorial position, so you get a seesaw molecule. दो को replace कर रहे हो मतलब another equator is being replaced with a lone pair and you end up with a T shape. And अगर तीनों को replace कर रहे हो मतलब all the 3 equatorial is replaced with lone pairs and you only have the axial bonds, which makes the molecular linear. Okay. Now coming to if you have 6 pairs of electrons. So if you have 6 electron pairs in which all 6 of them are bond pairs. Okay. So again, the logic or the geometry is similar to when you had 5 pairs of electrons, where you have all 4 of them in a symmetrical shape in one plane, and the other 2, the remaining 2, occupy axial positions, ऊपर और नीचे. Okay. So like basically you can also call this square bipyramidal, but this kind of a shape already has a name. जैसे cube, cuboid ऐसे होता है ना, वैसे this kind of a shape where you have 2 square pyramids one on top of the other, called octahedral. In fact, if you get this kind of a dice, like your dice, normally you have a cube, right? 6 faces ke saath. So if you get this kind of a dice with like more number of faces, it's called an octahedron. So that's why the shape is called octahedral, because you have like 8 faces, 4 upar and 4 niche. Then if one of them is replaced, now the bond angle between them. So if you have a square, central atom यहाँ पे center में है, तो what is the angle between each of these bond pairs? ये वाला angle कितना होगा? measure करके बताओ. So पूरा circle का 360 है. अंश, धृति, सिद्ध.
90.
90. क्योंकि diagonal है ना. Diagonals in a square तो perpendicular होते हैं. So, or another way to look at it is 60. You're dividing it between 4 bonds. So angle between each bond is 90 degrees. And perpendicular plane, if this is perpendicular, if it is, yeah, perpendicular to the plane that the equator is on, ये वाला angle कितना होगा?
90.
90 again. Okay. So this is like symmetrical from all ends. So when it comes to when you're replacing one of the bond pairs with a lone pair, it doesn't really matter. Like, so basically in this case, now because the angle is same between all and it's like completely symmetrical, you can replace one of the axial bonds with the lone pair. Okay. So now in this case, the flat surface, you still have a square on the bottom, except instead of 2 pyramids, you only have 1 pyramid. So which is why this is like your Egyptian pyramid wala shape. Niche square hai, point on top. This is like your normal typical pyramid you'll be familiar with. Now because base is a square, this particular shape is called square pyramidal. So earlier, दूसरे case में like tetrahedral, when you had 3 bond pairs and 1 lone pair, your base was a triangle and then you were forming a pyramid. That's why that was called trigonal pyramidal. In this case, your base is a square. That's why it's called square pyramidal. Okay. And finally, when you have 4 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs. So 4 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs. Electron geometry is still going to be octahedral, like where all your electrons are located. But molecular geometry, now because you have the lone pair, it's best to keep both the lone pairs far away from each other. So your 4 equatorial ones are going to be preserved and lone pairs will occupy top and bottom. So in this case, it is still square, but it's not a pyramid. It is like flat on the surface. Upar aur niche lone pairs hai, so this will be absent. So it's called square planar. Okay. So 4 bond pairs, matlab central atom is attached to 4 other atoms, 4 bond pairs, and you have 2 lone pairs also. So then it is a square planar. Because square form कर रहा है और सारे एक ही plane में है. That's why it is a square plane. ठीक है. Cool. Did you guys note down this table?
Ma'am, it's already given.
Huh. Yeah, I know it's there in your chapter notes.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering if you also noted it down or not, because लिखने से एक और बार it just gets into your system. You can analyze it. So if you haven't noted it down, you can do it on your own much later. If you have noted it down, refer to it. If you haven't, refer to your book, because now I'll be doing sort of a quiz. Okay. Uh, it's getting too heavy. Okay. Doesn't really make so much of a difference. All right. So CH4 methane ka molecule, you know the valency of carbon, like how many electrons are there around carbon, and you know the valency of hydrogen. तो उसके basis पे what is the shape of a methane molecule?
Trigonal planar.
Ishita, can you give me explanation how? So carbon का valency क्या है? How many electrons does carbon have around it?
4.
4. And it is bonded to 4 hydrogens.
Yeah.
So like how many bond pairs, how many lone pairs does carbon have around it?
4.
So 4 what? Like 4 bond pairs. Like how many bond pairs, how many lone pairs?
Oh wait, what did I say? It should be no. There was one shape. Oh wait, tetrahedral. Yeah, sorry.
Cool. Okay. So it's got 4 bond pairs and 4 valence electrons सारे bonding में चले गए, तो 0 lone pairs. So if there are 4 bond pairs, 4 bonds के साथ the most symmetrical shape is tetrahedral. So you have tetrahedral. Okay. Water का shape क्या है? And what is the bond angle? Like an approximate value is enough.
Ma'am, bent.
Shape is bent, of course, because central atom oxygen and 2 hydrogens hai. So it's got to be bent.
Angle will be very much less than 120. Right.
So, okay, I'll give you 2 values. You said less than 120, right? So is it gonna be somewhere around 116, 17 degrees? Or is
No.
it going to be somewhere around 106, 107 degrees?
106, 107.
And yes, so shape will be bent. And yes, so it's going to be a lot less than 109 degrees. 109.5 degrees. Okay. Because water may, how many lone pairs are there?
2.
Yeah. 2 lone pairs are there. So we know 2 bond pairs are there because 2 hydrogen के साथ bonded है. So, and apart from that, there are 2 lone pairs because oxygen के पास total 6 electrons है. So electron geometry is going to be
Tetrahedral.
electron geometry will be tetrahedral. Yes. Okay. Next. What would be the shape of, अच्छा यहाँ पे जो भी है इन सारों, like we'll just do all of them, okay? Ammonia, NH3 का shape क्या होगा? So NH3 का shape ढूंढने में first figure out how many bond pairs are there, how many lone pairs are there. तो इसके basis पे figure out what will be the shape. इसके पहले if you want you can also figure out what is the electron geometry also.
Ma'am, 3 bond pair, 1 lone pair.
Yes, so nitrogen has total 5 electrons. So 3 hydrogens के साथ 3 electrons have bonded and it has 1 lone pair. Alright, तो 3 plus 1, तो electron geometry क्या होगा? Shape क्या होगा?
Electron geometry
Electron geometry
tetrahedral.
tetrahedral, and
Yes.
shape will be
Tetrahedral
no,
में एक गया. So
trigonal
shape. Tarannum has already
pyramidal.
answered. Good.
हाँ.
Yes. So tetrahedral है. So tetrahedron is something like this. उसमें से this one has gone. These three are still bent here because यहाँ पे lone pair occupy हुआ. This is not gonna move. So basically you have a point and नीचे this is forming a triangle. So it is a pyramid. Like नीचे अगर कोई shape है and you have like lines coming joining in a point, मतलब it's a pyramid. What kind of a pyramid? Trigonal pyramidal. Because triangle form कर रहा है नीचे. ठीक है? Awesome. मीथेन तो अभी डिस्कस किया. PF5 phosphorus pentafluoride. Again same thing. How many bond pairs, how many lone pairs? तो उसके basis पे you'll get the shape.
So electron geometry is trigonal bipyramidal,
Mm-hmm.
and
How did you figure
shape
that?
is because 5 bond pairs.
So phosphorus valence
Zero
shell
lone
में
pairs.
you have 5 electrons and all 5 of them are bonded to fluorine क्योंकि PF5 है.
Yeah,
So there are
and
no
5
lone
electrons
pairs.
from fluorine. Yeah.
Yes. So 5 bond pairs, 0 lone pairs. तो इसलिए you said trigonal.
Bipyramidal.
Yes.
And the
Bipyramid.
shape is also no. Yeah, the shape is also trigonal bipyramidal.
Yes. Okay. So 5, see, so whenever you're just asked outright what is the shape of this molecule, this is the whole exact logic you have to follow. So figure out how many bond pairs are there, how many lone pairs are there. So the way to figure this out is again you go back to Lewis structure या फिर ऐसे intuitively भी पता चल जाएगा. Like you know that phosphorus कितने valence electrons है, कितने bonds form करना चाहिए phosphorus को. And also the attached atom is fluorine. That can only form like, you know, single bonds, single covalent bond. So phosphorus 5, 15 है atomic number. So 5 electron pairs. So all 5 of them are connected to fluorine. So if you have 5 bond pairs and you don't have any lone pairs at all, तो shape क्या बनेगा? Like electron geometry will be same as the shape of the molecule itself. So 5 मतलब 3 equator में और 2 axial में. ठीक है. This time I want answer from Ishita, Dhriti, Ansh or Sid. One of you guys. SF4. This one. You can speak or you can give it on chat, but I need answers from you guys.
Tetrahedral.
No. So figure out how many bond pairs, how many lone pairs would be there. So sulfur. So sulfur will have how many electrons around it? Valence number of electrons for sulfur?
6.
6, right? उसमें से how many bonds, like how many has it bonded with?
4.
4 of them. So
4.
leaves 2.
2.
So 4
This
bond
bond
pairs.
pairs will be 4. Yes.
Yes. And are there any lone
The
pairs?
lone pairs.
Bond pairs are 2.
Lone pair will be 2.
2 or?
There
No, no,
can't be
lone pair will be
two
1.
lone pairs, yeah.
1 pair.
So 6
Oh, okay,
electrons
yeah.
hai. इसमें से 4 of them have gone for bonding. So 2 electrons left. Always we are talking
One-
about lone pair.
It is 1 lone pair. We are using 2 electrons.
2 electrons मतलब 1 pair. 1 lone pair, yeah. तो उसके basis पे what is the electron geometry? So 4 plus 1 है तो total 5 electron pairs है ना. So where all will you arrange these 5 electron pairs? You can refer to the table, like either from chapter notes or if you have. Yes, Ansh has answered. Very good. So electron geometry is going to be trigonal bipyramidal. 5 matlab 3 of them in axis. Abhi PF5 ke liye kiya na. And then 2 of them in the 3 of them in the equator, 2 of them on the axis. So you've got a triangle here forming 2 pyramids, upar niche. Okay. Then, so this is trigonal bipyramidal. What will be the shape of the molecule? So एक लोन पेयर है तो यहां से एक बॉन्ड को निकालना पड़ेगा. हाँ, yes मिताली.
Seesaw.
Seesaw. So you take away from one of the equator. हमेशा if you get electron geometry trigonal bipyramidal ना, whatever how many ever lone pairs you got, you need to remove from equator position only. So that is going to decide the shape of the molecule. तो यहाँ पे एक निकाल दिया, you end up with a seesaw. This is like a vertical seesaw. So this is what you have on the ground and this is where you sit. ठीक है. So shape is seesaw. ठीक है. Cool. Next. I want clear drawings. I'll just clear this. ClF3. First ClF3 है. Figure out how many bond pairs, how many lone pairs. Be careful. So Sid, I think previously what you had done is you said tetrahedral because you saw that SF4 hai.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So abhi, you don't do that. ClF3 may check how many valence electrons are there. So based
Three
on
and
that.
2, right?
3 and 2 है क्या? Cl में total 7 है. उसमें से 3 have gone for bonding. 4 electrons, so 2 lone pairs. Absolutely. Awesome. So 3 and 2. तो electron geometry क्या होगा?
I don't have the table with me. Is it okay if I do it?
That's fine. So you can refer chapter notes में होगा. So if you've got your book, if you have your book with you, you can just refer to it there.
Okay, I'll just look at it. Just a second.
So 3 plus 2, if you have 5 electron pairs, अभी discuss किया हमने. What will it be, Ishita?
Trigonal planar.
Trigonal 5 है.
Okay, so
Trigonal मतलब 3 तो यहाँ पे रख दिया.
bipyramidal.
हाँ.
Yeah.
So remaining 2 bipyramidal.
Yeah, I need a bit practice.
That's what we are doing right now. तो इसलिए
Yeah.
तो shape क्या होगा? So 2 lone pair है, मतलब इसमें से you need to remove 2.
T-shape.
T-shape, yes. Very good. So both of them you'll remove from the equator only. You'll end up with a T. Okay. So shape of the molecule is T-shape. Cool. Next. Actually, let me show you guys because this is slightly unintuitive, right? T-shape kaise bana and all. So I'll just do this.
Is the next one octahedral?
Yeah. Wait. We'll go to ClF3. Yeah. So you can see here, this is what it looks like. So this is a much better drawing of, like, much better visual. So you can see that because of the presence of the lone pairs here, the two axial pairs are slightly more bent. So it's not a perfect 90 degrees. So it is slightly less than 90. So इसलिए this angle between the two axial ends is less than 180. So that's 175 degrees. And so this is the electron geometry. Because you have 5 pairs of electrons, जिसमें से 3 bonded है. These 2 are the lone pairs. So this is what a trigonal bipyramid is like. So you can see that trigonal है, बीच में the triangle, and ऊपर और नीचे 2 pyramid बने हुए. Okay. Now these 2 are lone pairs belonging to chlorine, right? So you won't have these like separate appendages. So this is what the molecule looks like. So this is what the T shape is. So these 2 are the axial ones, and this is the equatorial one. So lone pairs will be on the equator. So if this is the equator, the lone pairs will be over here and here. Yeah. Can you guys see the mouse pointer moving, or is that invisible on screen?
I can see it.
You can see, na? ठीक है. Okay, this is where the lone pairs. So this is what, so if I just like rotate it so that the actual pairs are horizontal, you can see how the T is formed, like a proper T. Yeah, so you can see this with the lone pairs. This is what it looks like on the equator, say. Cool. SF4, we'll see the seesaw. So the single lone pair is, this is where the single lone pair occupies. And you can just like, if I just rotate it, how do I? Yeah, so this is the seesaw here. So you can see how the seesaw is formed. So the equatorial ones are basically like the support, and these are the actual ones form the seesaw structure, bent shape. But otherwise, if you have to relate it to the trigonal bipyramidal, it looks like this. So you can see that originally 120 था equatorial bond के बीच में. Now this has reduced to 102 degrees because of the repulsion between the lone pairs. And the axial bond also 90 plus 90, 120 होना चाहिए था, but because of the lone pair, it pushes it slightly, 173 हो गया. Yeah. Next, SF6. SF6 is easy. Like Mitali has already answered. Correct. Taranum, yes. Sid had already answered pehle hi. So sulfur, around sulfur, 6 valence electrons, and all 6 of them are bonded to fluorine. So 6 bond pairs gives you a shape of octahedral. Yeah. This is what the octahedral shape is. So 4 of them on the equator and 2 of them on the axis. All the bond angles, whichever way you see, it's all 90 degrees. So, and this one also, equator axial, they're all like, it is perfectly symmetrical, right? So even if I rotate it by 90 degrees, I'm still going to get the same shape. So whichever 4 I consider to be in the same plane, the other 2 will be perfectly perpendicular to the others. I say. That is why it doesn't matter when it comes to 5 bond pairs, 1 lone pair. It doesn't matter if you remove from the axial or equatorial, because rotate karne pe it's all going to be the same thing anyway. All perfectly symmetrical. Now do XeF4.
Octahedral.
Octahedral would be the shape of the molecule or the electron geometry.
Shape.
XeF4 तो 4 bond pairs ही है ना?
Sorry. The geometry.
So electron geometry is octahedral, like where all the electrons are placed.
Yeah.
But shape of the molecule क्या होगा? उसके लिए you need to know how many bond pairs, how many lone pairs.
Square planar.
Square planar, absolutely. Awesome. Mitali and Dhriti have already answered in the chat. So Xe has 8 electrons, जिसमें से 4 of them have bonded to F. So there are 4 electrons left, which means that there are 2 lone pairs. So 4 of them pair up into 2 lone pairs. So 4 bond pairs and 2 lone pairs means square planar. Awesome. Cool. So how are you guys feeling now? Like now that I quizzed you guys, you remember the shape, names and all of that. Initially thoda confusion tha, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
Yeah, exactly. The more we do it, I mean, abhi bhi, some parts I'm like, I'm not sure if it's this or that, but then I figure.
It's just
But
like
it's
any
not
other.
exactly as it was before. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's all completely like you figure out the English behind it. It's not gonna seem very weird at all. Yeah. Cool. Abhi time kya ho raha hai? Let's see. Okay, it's 4:13, no?
4:15.
Almost 4:15. So should you wanna start valence bond theory या फिर इसी पे questions करना है?
Plus, we can start with something new and you can give us questions for different.
ठीक है. Cool. So questions like I'll give you guys homework so you solve it on your own. अगर revision चाहिए तो बाद में एक class लगा लेते हैं questions के लिए. अभी के लिए I'll start off with valence.
एक question है. The homework that which you're sending us, do we have to upload it like हम लोग जैसे पहले करते थे वैसे?
Yeah, upload it. It's better, no? At least we'll come to know whether you guys are practicing or not. Oh, thoda accountability hoga. And if you upload it, no, so all of your work will be in one place. So, you won't lose the file. ठीक है. All right. So coming to valence bond theory. So abhi tak we have gone through the Lewis-Cossel structure, who gave a very basic idea of what is the purpose, why and how are atoms formed. Because of Lewis postulates, because octet hona chahiye, because you came to know of all of this, you could figure out ki this particular atom, if you have hydrogen, is it gonna form a single bond or a double bond? If you have oxygen, you can figure out if it is capable of forming a triple bond and how many more atoms it is capable of bonding with. And usse one step above that, VSEPR gave you an idea of what the geometry is going to be. So now you know how atoms bond, like whether they form single bond, double bond, whether they are able to bond with 3 more atoms, 2 more atoms. And based on that, VSEPR gave you an idea of what the shape of the molecule is going to look like. Now, shape of the molecule is important because it's not like, fun to know sort of a thing. So once you know which are the electron rich areas, like, oxygen ke do lone pairs are concentrated on one end. PCl5 or SF4 ke case mein, you know that there is lone pair on one side. So that will help you predict the reaction mechanism. Like if you have an electron deficient species, you will know, okay, from which side is it going to attack that other molecule. Isliye the geometries and shapes are kind of important. But when you're studying atomic structure, we have come to know ki, like, like first people thought protons and electrons were just dots that were like revolving like sun around planets and all. And then that theory was disproved, or they could not prove the validity of that theory because they could not quantify things. So uske baad you got the concept of atomic orbitals and all of that, electron clouds and all that. Now how do you explain bonding in this context? Like now atoms exist, like how electrons exist, there are electron clouds around the nucleus. How does bonding take place when atoms look like this, when they are not like dot point structures? So the valence bond theory explains you know the chemical bonding or any sort of like the covalent bonding between two atoms with the context or with the knowledge that there are electron clouds, like electrons exist as probability densities or clouds around the nucleus. Okay, so again we're taking the simplest atom, hydrogen, and the simplest molecule, H2 molecule, and like to explain what the valence bond theory is all about. How is the orbital overlap, what is the orbital overlap, and how do you quantify or explain the formation of a bond in terms of energies, because we know that electrons exist in energy levels. Okay, that's all the whole funda around this. So valence bond theory, it was introduced by Heitler and London. It's developed by Pauling and others. They built upon the existing work. The theory is based on quantum mechanical model of the atom. Yeah. So we're using the knowledge of atomic orbitals and electronic configuration to figure out how covalent bonds are formed. So yeah, so first you consider two hydrogen atoms. H2 molecule में दो hydrogen atom है that are bonding with each other. So consider two hydrogen atoms. So they have, like, if the two hydrogen atoms are A and B, so this is hydrogen atom A, this is hydrogen atom B. So their nucleus is Na, Nb. Their electrons, call them Ea and Eb. Okay. So when both the hydrogen atoms are like far away from each other, distance बहुत ही ज़्यादा है, like there's no effect, there's no interaction between them. Then let's say they start coming towards each other slowly. So as the distance between them starts reducing, there's going to be forces between these atoms, like forces between their nuclei, forces between their electron attraction, repulsion, depending on the charge and everything. Okay. So if you take into account all of the energies that are present in this system, when you have both of them separate, the only energy you have to consider is energy of atom A plus energy of atom B. So their kinetic energy, and within the molecule, what is the potential energy, all of that. When they are coming closer to each other, like let's say distance has reduced to yahan tak, like initially they were very far, now they are close to each other. So all the energies that are there, if you take into consideration, so one is you have the kinetic energy of each atom of A and B separately. New potential energy starts arising, like then you have the potential energy associated with the repulsive forces between these two electrons. So like surrounding them is the electron cloud, both of them are negatively charged, so you have the repulsion between Ea B ka repulsion. Then you'll have a certain energy associated with the attraction between nucleus A and electron B. So nucleus of A is positively charged, अगर positive charge है तो it's going to attract anything that is like negatively charged. It's not like, you know, just because this electron is there is cancelled, like ऐसा नहीं है. It is going to have like an attractive force towards anything that's negatively charged and repulsive force towards anything that's positively charged. Like forces attract, unlike forces attract, like charges repel. So you will have attractive, like the potential energy associated with the attraction between NaEb and the other way around also, nucleus of B and electron of A. So all the oppositely charged ones are going to attract each other. Now let's say they come really close to each other. Then as the distance keeps increasing, you will have the repulsive force between the two nucleus also. क्योंकि like that's what we just discussed कि unlike charges के साथ you have attractive forces, like charges के साथ you have repulsive forces. ठीक. So when two hydrogen atoms existed independently, all you needed to worry about was the individual energies of A and B. But as they come closer to each other, you are going to have all of these extra things associated. Like apart from their independent individual energies, you also have the repulsive forces and the attractive forces. Okay. Now you have both sides of the equation. Attractive forces tend to bring the atoms closer to each other, whereas the repulsive forces push them apart. So just like how you know, when people were figuring out the atomic structure, Schrodinger had this equation, right? The equation dealt with the kinetic energies, potential energies, to find the most stable distance that the electron can exist around the proton. Now this new energies are also coming into picture. So then obviously, like, you know, the interaction between both these molecules is going to affect the total energy of the system. जहाँ पे भी repulsive forces ज़्यादा है, when they are repelling against each other, but you're trying to work against that repulsion, there's going to be a lot more energy involved in the system because you need to put in energy for them to come close to each other. But when the attractive forces start taking over, you know, when the attractive forces between the opposite nuclei towards the electrons are sufficient enough to overcome the repulsive forces. Okay. So there's like one sweet spot where the energy is going to be at a minimum. Okay. So if I read this graph, like, so all these energy ka values that I just discussed, their individual energies, plus as they keep coming closer, the attractive repulsive forces start playing a part in it that affects the energy of the system, the total potential energy of the system. So as you bring them close to each other, the energy gradually reduces because the opposite nuclei are like pulling against each of these electrons. All right, the nucleus of this is like attracting the electron cloud of the other atom. Nucleus of this is attracting the electron cloud of this atom. So slowly the energy starts reducing as the distance between both the hydrogen atoms decreases. But eventually, when they get close enough, apart from the electron clouds repelling, the nuclei also will start repelling each other if you place them too close to each other. So now there is going to be one sweet spot where the energy of the system overall is at a minimum. Okay, at one particular distance. If they go any closer, the repulsions are going to be more than the attraction and it's going to get unstable. The energy is going to rise. If they go any further from each other, then they're going to be just far enough away that the attractive forces are not playing so much of a influence to overcome the repulsion of the electron clouds. Okay, so this particular sweet spot is when a covalent bond is said to have formed. So first, they're independent, there's lots of distance, it's like closer to zero, like there is no change in energy apart from the independent energy that the hydrogens already have. They come closer to each other. So repulsion है दो electron के बीच में, but the attraction between opposite nuclei also starts playing a picture. Then they come closer and closer to each other. And then if they get any closer, the protons are going to repel against each other and this is going to be unstable. But this particular distance, there is enough of an overlap that ये hydrogen का nucleus will exert a force on the electron of the other hydrogen atom and vice versa. Like the other hydrogen atom will exert a force on this electron. And at this particular distance, what happens is the electron cloud is concentrated between both the hydrogen atoms. Iska electron is over here, iska electron is over here. And this is where maximum probability density you'll find of the electron. So it is at this distance that you say that, oh yeah, a covalent bond has been formed that way. So if you had to understand the formation of a molecule in terms of atomic orbitals, ki kya ho raha hai atomic orbitals ke sath, how are the electrons behaving, this is what happens. So there is like overlap of the orbitals, both the electrons mix and they are shared by both the hydrogen atoms. So that is what is the formation of a covalent bond. All right, so attractive forces tend to bring them closer, whereas repulsive forces push them apart. Then as the atoms approach each other, the attractive forces are greater than the repulsive forces. In the process, it's decreasing the potential energy. So agar attractive forces zyada hai, you don't have to put so much energy in the system because of the attraction, they're anyway going closer to each other. So that's why the overall potential energy is decreasing. But at extremely small distances, the repulsive forces push the atoms apart. So again, repulsive forces are taking over, matlab, you'll have to put in energy to keep them together. So the overall potential energy is increasing. So there is one point. In the case of hydrogen atom, it is at a distance of 74 picometers. The potential energy is at the lowest. And it is at this point that you say that the bond between hydrogen atoms is formed. Bond forming ka matlab, this hydrogen atom's orbital is overlapping with this hydrogen atom's orbital such that the electrons are concentrated between them and both of them are sharing the electrons essentially. Now, because it is at a minimum, whatever is the distance between the initial and this thing, this much of energy is released. And hence, the hydrogen molecule is more stable than either of the isolated atoms. And this particular energy that is released is called bond enthalpy. Another way to understand this is, when both the hydrogen atoms were independent, the total energy of the system was at, let's say, this level. Abhi, the total energy when they are bonded, when they are at this particular distance where there is orbital overlap, reduce ho gaya overall energy of the system. So because you have to overcome these attractive forces in order to break them apart, you need to add in so much of energy to essentially break this particular bond so that they are like independent once again. So that is what your bond enthalpy is. So one way to look at it, if the bond is being formed, it is the energy released during the formation of that particular bond. And if you're looking at this other way around, Now, because this much energy was released when this bond is formed, you need to add in the same amount of energy in order to break the bond so that, once again they are apart from each other. ठीक है. Clear? Any doubts? Anything like how's it going? So
Ma'am, so
Hmm.
sorry.
Yeah.
So the minimum potential energy is when the actual covalent bond is formed. So when it starts rising, why does it start rising exactly? Because the
So
distance between the hydrogens increases due to the
नहीं
repulsive
नहीं.
forces.
So rising matlab, are you talking about why it rises as you go left side? Like, are you talking about this
Yes,
particular
I'm
rise or this particular rise?
sorry. Uh, the other rise from 74 to 150.
74 to 1. Acha, ye wala rise. Okay. Because in this case, uh, so you're increasing the distance between the two atoms, na? Like this is the distance between the atoms on the x-axis. So if you're going from left to right, you're increasing the distance between the two atoms. So one, you have to overcome the attractive forces between iska nucleus and iska electron to pull them apart. And second, in electron clouds, like electron of A and electron of B also start repelling each other.
Okay.
So it's like a
And
dance off between the attractive forces and the repulsive forces. So wherever
so if I talk
attraction is
about
maximum, the potential energy is minimum, we say.
so and if I talk about the other rise from 74 to 45,
Mm.
like it's not even a rise, it's coming down.
It's a rise, no? Like when you're going from 74 to 45, matlab when you're reducing the distance, the energy is rising.
Okay.
So
So
what?
this means the molecule is becoming more stable.
No.
Okay.
As long as energy is reducing, stability increases.
Okay.
So यहाँ पे energy increase हो रहा है ना, अगर 74 से 45 जा रहे हो, when you're reducing the distance, energy increase हो रहा है. So यहाँ पे 432
Stability is
था,
less.
हाँ यहाँ पे इससे ज़्यादा है. The reason
Okay.
for this increase is when they're really really close to each other, the nuclei start repelling each other. Iska proton start repelling each other. Okay? So it's a dance off between the attractive forces and the repulsive forces. So if the repulsive forces start taking over, stability decreases. Like repulsive forces matlab they're pushing each other away. So that is the reason bond cannot be formed at like any distance, whenever, wherever. There is like only one sweet spot where the bond can be formed.
Got it, ma'am.
Yeah. Hmm. So at a distance of 74 picometers, the potential energy is the lowest. क्योंकि इससे कम डिस्टेंस भी एनर्जी ज्यादा हो रहा है, इससे ज्यादा डिस्टेंस भी एनर्जी ज्यादा हो रहा है. And the bond between the two hydrogen atoms is formed. Now energy is released at this distance and hence the hydrogen molecule is more stable than either of the isolated atoms. Energy reduce हो रहा है मतलब इस particular process में reduction क्यों हो रहा है? Again, conservation of energy, right? Like it's not gonna vanish anywhere. So energy is being system of the like energy of the system released मतलब system से surroundings में गया वो वाला energy. So that's why we say energy is released. So this particular energy, now because this is the energy associated with the covalent bond, it's called bond enthalpy. And for the hydrogen molecule, bond enthalpy is 435.8 kilojoules per mole. So what what bond enthalpy stands for, like the physical significance, like in case of experiments and all, what it means is that this is the energy required to break the bond in the hydrogen molecule. So जब bond form हो रहा है तो इतना energy has been released, बाहर गया, while the bond is being formed. So if you want to do the reverse process, so if you want to break the bond, मतलब दोनों hydrogens को separate करना चाहते हो, if you're doing the reverse process, you need to put in this much amount of energy to do the reverse process. We'll be talking more about bond enthalpy and all when we do thermodynamics, energy related stuff. Okay. All right. Now, again, you can see that both the s orbitals of the hydrogen atoms, like both the atoms are overlapping with each other, right? Like hydrogen electron cloud is here, electron cloud is here, both of them closing to each other, matlab there is a bit of overlap of orbitals, right? So in the formation of molecule at minimum energy state, the two atoms are so close to each other that their valence shell orbitals undergo partial interpenetration. Now these are like really complicated words to just say that you have shells, valence shell क्योंकि outermost है, shells में orbitals होते हैं, s orbital, p orbital that we know of. They go partial interpenetration, matlab both of them are like घुसोफying each other. That's what it says. Okay. So they're so close that there's overlap of these orbitals. Aisa. Right? So this partial merging is called overlapping of atomic orbitals. It results in the pairing of electrons. Okay, so both the electrons are like concentrated between the two atoms. So formation of covalent bonds results in the pairing of electrons present in the valence shell having opposite spins. Okay, I'll just quickly, before going forward, I found a visual, so I'll just share it with you guys. Just do this. I'll play the audio also. Can you guys hear the audio? No? Okay, mute it.
No.
ठीक है, I'll keep it muted only if the audio is not on. So you can see that the electron clouds are attracted to the nucleus, atom 1, atom 2. So as they come closer to each other, so there's like merging of the electron clouds here. So the light dots you can see, that's like basically the electron cloud, that's the orbital. These are all the places where electrons tend to be around the atom. So as they come so close to each other, the nucleus begins to repel each other. They push each other apart. So if you want the chemical bond to be formed, it needs to be at that particular ideal distance where the repulsions are at minimum. Yeah, where the repulsions are at minimum, but the attractive forces are still applied between this nucleus to this electron cloud and this nucleus to this electron cloud. So this is what happens during this overlap. So you can see that the two electron clouds are like merging with each other, like sort of like that. Yeah. Yeah. So when you have that like merging process taking place, so that's what you call overlapping of the orbitals. Okay. So yeah, greater the extent of overlapping, stronger is the resultant bond. So greater overlapping matlab closer to the nucleus. Minimal overlapping matlab it doesn't really take a lot to separate both of them. That's all. So when two atomic orbitals form a bond, their overlap. Now this is an important point. So again, coming back to quantum mechanical model of the atom, we've learned that electrons are also like, they exist dual behavior, like they exist as particles and you have electron waves, right? Now you have electron wave of one atom, electron wave of the other atom. When you combine two waves, what happens? Have you guys like come across or read about like waves interacting with each other pehle?
The only thing I have learned about wave interaction is not much actually. It's basic interference and the diffraction thing
Yeah,
that takes place.
yeah, that's what I wanted. ठीक है, what about the
They
rest of you, like
Do they superpose?
superimpose? Yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to get at. Okay, so when you have two waves that are like basically sort of like merging with each other, so you have wave 1 and then you have wave 2. Okay, now you want to combine both of them. There are multiple possibilities. Now it depends on what phase they are in. So if we consider the extreme cases, either they they basically superimpose over one another. So we call it, if they are in phase, if they exactly, like if I overlap this and this exactly, it's gonna look something like this. Both of them basically add to each other. So if they combine in phase, when they are in phase with each other, they both add to each other. मतलब blue wave का crest भी है, red wave का crest भी है. So the result is going to be sorry, wave drawing skills are not good. You're going to end up with greater amplitude, like both of them add each other. Constructive interference. Have you guys heard of that pehle? No? Okay, that's fine. We'll have it later on. Okay, so construct, like they build over each other. So the wave properties get bigger. And then you have another case when they are not in phase with each other. So you have the red wave, and if the blue wave is not in phase with the red wave, like let's say the blue wave is like this. So what it results in is, रेड वेव का जब क्रेस्ट हो रहा है, ब्लू वेव का ऑपोजिट साइन हो रहा है, राइट? Like when they are not in phase with each other, they basically cancel each other out, and this is like basically your destructive interference. That is the reason your interference pattern may, you have alternating bright and dark spots. So you get your bright spot when they are in phase with each other, you get your dark spots when they are destroying each other. Both the waves are canceling each other out. That's what's like basically been happening. Okay, so this is how, like when waves interact, you have multiple possibilities. You have constructive, you have destructive, like that way. All right, so if I take this as a baseline, ऊपर positive है, negative है, opposite signs, opposite sides. So either when both the positives interact, there is constructive interference. When opposite signs interact, like iska negative is interacting with iska positive when they are not in phase, right? They both are canceling each other out. Okay. So now let's see how this plays a role in our overlap. What type of overlap is happening? Okay. So when two atomic orbitals form a bond, their overlap may be positive, negative, or zero, depending on the sign or the phase, like the phase and direction of orientation of the orbital wave function. Okay, so positive overlap occurs when both the orbitals are in phase with each other, and negative overlap occurs when both the orbitals are out of phase with each other. Okay, so in phase overlap is like when both are in phase with each other. It's like basically a successful this thing. Negative overlap is when both of them are out of phase with each other. एक positive एक negative है, cancel हो जाएगा. And zero overlap occurs when, like zero overlap matlab it's basically means that there is no overlap at all. All right, so that happens when the orientation of the orbitals itself is different from each other. So one best example is, let's say एक atom का p orbital px orbital है. So px is in x axis, horizontal है let's say, and दूसरा orbital is in, let's say it is in py. एक का px and एक का py है अगर, तो both of them are perpendicular to each other. So like overlap की question ही नहीं है. If both of them are px, there is like a horizontal overlap possible, right? Like they can approach each other head on, or else if they are parallel to each other also, like एक sideways overlap हो सकता है ऐसे. But अगर एक horizontal एक vertical है, if they are not, like if the orientation of both is different, तो overlap की question ही नहीं है. So that is what is zero overlap. So एक, like there can be positive overlap when they are in phase with each other. There can be negative overlap when they are out of phase with each other. Zero overlap is when they are in completely different directions, when both the orbitals are oriented completely different from each other. Okay. So let's look at when, so positive overlap, like basically a successful bond will be formed when you have, like when both the orbitals are oriented so that you have like a successful, like they are able to overlap. And second criteria is that like you need to have both of them in phase with each other. Out of phase hai to they cancel each other out, to nahi hoga, so they need to be in phase with each other. So depending on which orbitals are overlapping and how they are overlapping, there are different types of bonds that are formed. So two main are, you have a sigma bond and you have a pi bond. And this is not like somewhere from outside. Tumhara atomic orbitals are sp-df, right? So isliye overlapping also you have sigma, pi, delta, and so on. Basically Greek counterparts. Okay. So sigma bond is formed when the overlap is on axis, when it's a direct head-on sort of an overlap. Okay. So there you go. Sigma bond, this type of covalent bond occurs when the bonding orbitals overlap head-on, end-to-end on the internuclear axis. So that's why, because they're happening in the same axis, it's also called axial overlap. So there are three cases where this overlap can be found. So if you have two s orbitals overlapping with each other, ss overlap है, like in hydrogen atom के hydrogen molecule के case में, s is spherical. Now this is the internuclear axis, एक ही axis पे है. S orbital is like, you know, you have a ball of one hydrogen atom, ball of the other one. They can like straight away overlap with each other ऐसे. एक ही axis पे हो रहा है. ठीक है. Next is, S is pretty straightforward. So spherical है, तो there can be only one type of overlap possible. Next is when you have an S and a P overlap. So S orbital and P orbital का overlap. So एक atom का S overlap है. Imagine HCl molecule. Okay, so valence shell of hydrogen is S orbital है, 1s1, that particular electron is taking part. And chlorine में, where do you have the valence shell? Like which orbital will take part in overlapping?
Yes.
Why S, Sid?
Two. P Z. Sorry.
The 2p orbital. Now x, y, or z depends on wherever there is that incomplete electron
You asked
present.
for the H, right?
No, H is s orbital only. I asked for Cl.
Okay. Sorry, I
Ah.
answered for H. Wow.
So chlorine valence is 2p2, 2p5. So this particular p orbital is going to overlap. And p ka shape is a dumbbell shape. So sp overlap, if you want a sigma bond to happen, now p orbital can be oriented in multiple ways. एक ऐसे भी एक p orbital है, x, px, py, pz. Perpendicularly, there's another p orbital like this. And there is one more over here, ऐसे. So in which case is an overlap possible? So is it the red color case, the pink case, or the blue case? In which case is the overlap possible with the s orbital? Like where is it? How, like which one is going to overlap with the s orbital easily?
From where, ma'am? I mean, I thought I lost you.
So here there are 3 p orbitals, right? So I drew
Oh yeah.
the red one, upar niche, the blue one, which is like horizontal, and
And the
then the
red one.
pink one is like screen ke aage piche. This is the third axis.
The
So
blue
in
one.
which case?
Blue.
Yeah, so the blue one
Blue.
has a head-on overlap with this thing. Successful this thing, right? So this sp overlap, like sp sigma overlap specifically, occurs when half-filled s orbital of one atom overlaps with the half-filled p orbital of the other atom, and the p orbital should be oriented on the same axis. Okay, all sigma bonds happen on the axis itself. This is the important point. Okay. And then you have pp overlap. So if you have two p orbitals, the sigma overlap occurs again when both of them are on the same axis horizontally. So this occurs when p orbitals of the two bonding atoms approach head on. So usually the p orbital considered in pp sigma is pz. So px, py are like the यहाँ पे नहीं होगा. Px, py considered are like perpendicular to it. So whenever you come across a sigma overlap between p orbitals, it's usually on the z axis, pz overlap. Okay. So sigma bond matlab it happens on the internuclear axis. Internuclear axis matlab if you draw a line joining both the nuclei, the overlap happens on this line only. So you can see here, S is spherical, so sigma ke alawa it's not gonna take part in any other type of overlap. Only when it comes to p orbital you need to consider. So only the p orbital that is lying on this particular line joining both the nucleus, that's going to overlap. Same as if you have two p orbitals. So along the internuclear line, the axis, whatever orbitals are there, that's going to overlap. Okay. Next, sigma ke baad you have pi bonds. So sigma is internuclear. Pi bond is when it doesn't happen on the nuclear axis. If it's not happening on the nuclear axis, how other can it happen? Like in which other way can it happen? So when it overlaps, either above or below, like basically parallel to the internuclear axis ho raha hai, that will be a pi bond. Parallel to the internuclear axis matlab, there you go. So a pi bond occurs when the bonding orbitals overlap such that their axis, so bonding orbitals ka axis are parallel to each other and they're perpendicular to the internuclear axis. So pi bond only happens only in the case of p orbitals. Okay? Because only the p orbitals, if you look at the shape, it is like, you know, it is extending above or below or, you know, parallel to the internuclear. Like only the p orbitals are perpendicular to the internuclear axis. S orbital is spherical, so whichever direction you take them in, it's going to be on the internuclear axis only. So whenever you talk about pi bond, it means only the p orbitals are taking part in that. Okay. So now you take two p orbitals. How are you overlapping them? So this is the internuclear axis. The nucleus is over here. The two dumbbells above and below. So you can see that the the p orbital ka axis, this particular dumbbell shape ka axis, is perpendicular to the internuclear axis, and both these will have to be parallel to each other. Agar parallel nahi hai, if one is horizontal essay and the other is like horizontal essay, then there is no overlap possible at all. Only when they are parallel to each other, they can like overlap with each other. Okay. So the bond results in two saucer-shaped charge clouds above and below the plane of the participating atoms. So upar ka dumbbell, these two like basically overlap with each other. Niche ka dumbbell overlaps with each other. Like these two blobs basically combine with each other. Like imagine them bending over ऐसे. And it results in the saucer-shaped clouds above and below. This is where the two nuclei are. So this is the internuclear axis. So it results in two saucer-shaped charge clouds above and below the participating atoms. So depending on which phase, it like this is positive, this negative. Obviously the bonding will have to happen in phase with each other. If they're out of phase, it gets cancelled out. So if it is the other way around, either negative, either positive bhi ho sakta hai, whichever it may be. Yeah. So pi bonds are usually formed in addition to the sigma bonds in case of multiple bond formation. So you will usually never have pi bond by itself. So always the first, what do you call it, preference, or the first bond formed is always the sigma bond, where it's overlapping on the same axis. And if you want a bond in addition to it, then pi bonds are formed above, like, you know, around the new internuclear axis. Yeah. So
How would you
always,
draw that? How would you draw a triple bond?
yeah, so I'll show you that. So I was going to give you examples. I was going to show how bonding takes place in oxygen and nitrogen. So sigma pi ka wo thoda clarity aa jayega. I'll do that. So there's a quick okay, before going to hybridization, I'll take up hybridization next class. Say abhi I'll just discuss of the sigma and pi bond completely. Just basic differences. Sigma bond, it occurs along the internuclear axis. Pi bond is like above and below the internuclear axis, perpendicular. So the pi bond may the orbitals involved are parallel to each other, but perpendicular to the internuclear axis. Sigma bond allows for free rotation. Pi bond, there is no free rotation. What does this mean? So sigma bond is head on. It's like this, right? Matlab, I can rotate this thing aise. Now pi bond is like this. Now if I try to rotate, I'll have to break the overlapping in order to rotate. Okay. So sigma bond allows for free rotation. This can rotate aise. But pi bond does not allow for free rotation. There's no free rotation because upar aur niche se lock ho gaye. You have the two clouds here. Okay. And sigma bond is stronger due to greater extent of overlapping. Again, like they can just like overlap, greater extent of overlapping. And pi, because it is reaching over and like upar or niche, initially the orbitals are this shape and it has to reach over, right? So that's the reason pi bonds are usually a weaker bond. That's the reason, like when you guys were studying about organic compounds, you had saturated and unsaturated compounds, right? Which one was more reactive, saturated or unsaturated?
Unsaturated.
Unsaturated is
Because
more reactive.
the pi bonds are very, they break very easily.
Exactly. Now, unsaturated has double, triple bonds. Double, triple bonds are always formed by pi bonds. It's easier to break the pi bonds compared to the sigma overlap. Okay. Okay. So Sid, you'd asked that like how do you find, like how are double and triple bonds, how do they happen, right? Okay. So I'll look at formation of oxygen abhi ke liye. ऑक्सीजन का इलेक्ट्रॉनिक कॉन्फ़िगरेशन क्या है?
To 1s2, 2s2, 2p4.
Yeah, 8. Atomic number 8, 2p4 है. Which means that where do you have the half-filled orbitals that can take place in bonding?
2py and 2pv.
हाँ.
To be specific.
Yeah. So basically, 2 of the 2p orbitals are empty. Okay. Same with the other oxygen. So if I draw the orbital, like the orbitals that will be taking part in bonding, एक ऑक्सीजन का एक p orbital ऐसा है. The second one is this thing. How many of you are comfortable with 3D geometry, like x, y, z axis? Imagine करने में थोड़ा. Like how many of you worked with that पहले? Rithi, Mitali, yes. Ishita, Sid, Mayas, Ansh. I can't see you guys, so you'll have to tell me. Or Tarannum also raising hand. Okay. Now that's Ishita. Yes. Okay, so this is, let's say, the x-axis. This is the, wait, okay. And the third is SA. Like this, the green one is going inside the screen and outside the screen. So the blue and red are just perpendicular to each other. The green is like going inside and outside, front and back. Okay. All right. And you have the same thing with this other oxygen atom also. Blue, red, and you have green. Okay. So how the double bond of oxygen is formed is, पहले हमेशा sigma bond ही form करेगा. So both the oxygen atoms align with each other such that the empty orbitals are facing head on with each other. Which means that ये वाला जो है, let's say this is the green orbital. So this is like completely filled. This is also like completely filled. So this is not going to take part in bonding at all because only the half-filled orbitals take part in bonding. Okay. So the red orbital has only one electron. It is half-filled. So iska red orbital, they are along the same axis. They will crash head on. Okay, they won't exactly crash, but like, yeah, they'll overlap head on with each other. So this is what it's going to look like.
So ma'am, can I say that the 2px, they're the ones that form like a pi
Again,
bond?
so yeah, so by convention, whichever is there forming a sigma bond is considered to be Z.
axis.
Yeah, Z axis. So this is a sigma overlap. So if this is designated Z, X and Y can be either blue or green, whichever way. Both of them are perpendicular to each other, it doesn't matter. Then green is completely filled, so that's not going to take part in bonding. So let's draw the green ones. It's gonna just like remain as it is. Now परपेंडिकुलर ब्लू ऑर्बिटल जो है, अभी एक सिग्मा फॉर्म करने के बाद these two are gonna reach over and form the pi bond. So it's gonna be something like this. It's gonna be ऊपर और नीचे से. ठीक है. So this whole part is the pi bond. So the red
So are there
overlap.
3 bonds?
No. So this is one. This is the sigma bond.
And
And
those two are classified as one?
yeah, because they are the same p orbital, right? ऊपर और नीचे जो dumbbell है, it is
Oh, okay.
this same p orbital that is overlapping on both sides. So this is classified as one single pi bond. So here are the nucleus. This is the internuclear axis. So ऊपर और नीचे जो है, this is the pi bond. And when it comes to nitrogen का configuration क्या होगा?
One S2, 2S2, 2p5, 2p3.
3. So 2s2 s orbital का there's no role because it's fully filled. P orbital में all three of them are half filled. So again the same thing will take place, except in this case the green orbitals also get in on the action. So the green orbitals, so nitrogen के case में triple bond. So first you have the sigma overlap, which is on the same axis as the nucleus. Then you have px का pi overlap, which is perpendicular, ऐसा. And then you have py का overlap also. So this, if I draw, it's gonna look really messy. Excuse me. So imagine like behind the screen there is a saucer shaped cloud, and in front of the screen there is a saucer shaped cloud. ऐसा. ठीक है. So, oh yeah, we have 3 axes here, right? So one is sigma. The blue color, एक overlap happens above and below where the thumbs are, ऐसे. And then तीसरा happens horizontally, ऐसे. I don't know if it's visible on camera. This is straightforward. यहाँ पे एक ऊपर नीचे, एक horizontal plane पे, and this is like straightforward. यहाँ पे overlap. Let me see if I can find like a 3D model for this. See, ये वही पे होना चाहिए. Nitrogen overlap. Ah, excellent. नहीं, this is molecular orbital overlap नहीं. इसमें Is this shared? Yeah. So you can see here, right? This one. So you find the sigma bond here where the overlap is, like, let me just open this. So you can see the sigma bond over here. So these are the p orbitals that are overlapping to form the sigma. Then the first pi bond is upar or niche, like how you have the x and y axis perpendicular to the sigma bond p orbital. And the second pi bond is this one, the one in front and the one behind. So this is the second pi overlap. This one and यहाँ पे जो है this one. Okay, so one pi bond is this one. I'll use a different color, clarity. This is one pi bond, the one in red, and the one in green that you can see, this is the other pi bond. पीछे, screen के पीछे, behind this one. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, cool. So these are like the basic sigma pi bond and how the overlaps take place. Next class, we'll be doing hybridization. So valence bond theory is basically valence orbital से bond बन रहा है due to overlap of orbitals. तो इसको यूज करके now we've seen simple molecules. So hydrogen में 2s overlap कैसे होता है? HCl में there's only 1s and 1p का overlap. Nitrogen, oxygen, even if there are multiple bonds, it's still bonding between two atoms only. But so next time we'll see if there is a molecule like methane or water. No, water also is pretty straightforward only. Yeah, like molecule like methane where a single atom is forming multiple bonds, then how come we are getting a tetrahedral geometry? Why are the bond angles so and so? Because s and p orbitals are not arranged in tetrahedral shape, right? So what exactly is happening in that case? That's what hybridization is going to tell us. Okay, cool. So we'll end the session now. We'll take this up later. Tell me, school mein what, like you guys have already started organic chemistry.
Yes, ma'am.
How much is
Have
done?
Finished organic.
organic chemistry.
And we have started with hydrocarbons.
We have almost finished organic chem and we'll start hydrocarbons next class, Mondays.
Okay. How was organic chemistry for you guys?
Pretty good.
Like 10th standard.
Pretty
I
good.
found it
Good.
easy for me.
Easy है? That's good.
समझ में आता है but boring है, नहीं पसंद को organic chem.
I
Or-
like organic chem. It's fun.
I don't like organic.
So basics of organic is just basics. So you'll keep revisiting that, like all of this inductive effect, resonance effect, all of that again and again, even in 12th grade. Like as long as you keep doing organic chemistry, you'll keep revisiting these things. Okay. Okay, so we still have hybridization and molecular orbital theory, right? How's it going? How is this chapter going, guys? I know we've been doing this for almost like 3 classes so far. Is it really slow? Like, can we speed up or is this comfortable?
This is pretty okay for me.
This is fine.
The speed is okay, the topics are like dry. I mean,
They're
I don't know,
long.
They're long,
they're long
this
and
intense.
dry. Yeah.
Okay.
But next class we might finish this, right?
Yeah.
Ma'am,
We'll
with
definitely
hybridization.
finish. Hybridization के बाद molecular orbital है. Cool. But how is your understanding? Like, would you prefer if we just sped through doing Q&A of this, or do you need like a whole like teaching revision? Like, where are you guys at with this?
Revision.
Revision.
Revision चाहिए. ठीक है. ठीक है. Cool. All right.
Miss, it's like अभी सब याद है, सब दिमाग में stored है. But after 1.5 week, once you finish it entirely and don't go back to it, I'm pretty sure all of us will need that
That
revision of.
questionnaire, the
Oh, we'll be
numerical
doing this again because carbon compounds may you must have noticed you keep revisiting hybridization.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
C double bond C में किस तरह का है, C triple bond C में किस तरह का है. So that way you won't forget
also the
this like once we're done.
yeah.
That's fine. ठीक है. Cool. So now you guys are awesome with VSEPR हो गया and you understood orbital
Yes.
overlap also. तो इस पे questions solve कर सकते हो. So I'll see when your next class is. Maybe tomorrow if you're having a good
Tomorrow we have
3-4 day.
maths. Tomorrow we have maths.
Ma'am, can we have it like on a short notice, because then we'll forget what we did today.
Acha, then 2-3 days before your next class, I'll give you the homework then. The questions.
Okay,
ठीक है?
ma'am.
Cool. All right.
Bye, Miss. Thank you, Miss.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye,
thank you.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Bye.